We are learning this morning that U.S. forces are leaving Camp Keating. That's the remote mountain outpost where 8 Americans were killed in a deadly ambush. While the Taliban is claiming victory for the U.S. pullout, U.S. officials say the withdrawal had been planned well before that weekend attack. As part of the shifting strategy in the war in Afghanistan, some of the remote bases are employing new tactics to try and turn the tables on the Taliban. Our Chris Cuomo, who has been in Afghanistan all week, visited one of those bases in southern Kandahar to see the strategy at work. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Robin. We're at Forward Operating Base Wilson, a line in the sand literally in southern Afghanistan, trying to keep the Taliban from pushing up into populated areas. The region that it is protecting against is called the Heart of Darkness. That's how serious the situation is. But the military is trying something different here to work with local communities, involving them in the fight for peace. And the new way they're trying may make all the difference.
An oasis in the middle of the Afghan desert. This meeting looks like a page out of a history book, but it could be the future of peacekeeping in Afghanistan. Haji Lala, a tribal chief in Pasab, South Afghanistan, sits with members of the coalition military command, presenting a written demand from the Taliban, written on Taliban stationery, threatening women and children if a military checkpoint isn't removed. Normally, bringing up such a request might end the conversation, but not tonight, thanks in part to a new line of communication fostered by a group called the Human Terrain Team. They are civilian volunteers, experts in culture and negotiation, working to bridge the divide. Instead of a conflict, the tribal chief invites us to a dinner celebrating friendship. Although still skeptical, he tells us he likes this new spirit of cooperation. The people of Afghanistan are really confident in the coalition and U.S. forces bringing security to Afghanistan, he says. The next morning out on patrol, this new approach is on display again. Soldiers enter a village, securing the area and passing out candy to kids as usual. But then Human Terrain Team members encourage them to sit down with the chief and find out what his community needs. Repairs to the town's well, he says, and helping fix a destroyed school. Needs and keys to a commitment to fight the Taliban, says Carl Slaku, a 64-year-old senior social scientist for the team.
Social science brings something to the table about how to understand local culture.
Increasingly, it's clear that this is a battle for the will of the people, and the Taliban has been reaching out to the array of ethnic groups that make up Afghanistan. The majority Pashtuns have long ties to the Taliban, which preys on other groups using fear and populism.
If the Taliban are using a strategy which is talking of respect and dignity and fighting for ordinary people, American troops on the ground need to also use the same strategy, which is reach out to ordinary Afghan people.
The commander says the new approach is working.
If we can have the trust and confidence in the population, they know that we're going to be there at night with them, they're going to come and tell us where the bad people are.
The situation in Afghanistan is proving more complicated all the time, and hopefully having these human terrain teams come in with their own expertise will help get a foothold for the peace process. Robin?